Good morning, students. My name is Dr. Baradakanta Mishra. I am a retired government servant. I was working in different government colleges of the state and the different administrative setup, and I have retired since last 10 years, and I have been assigned to teach you the chapter environmental issues. Now, to start with, what is environment? Environment is a sum total of the living and non-living substances that comprise the natural environment. So, if the environment relating to a human being or an animal or a particular locality or a particular plant life, that includes certain living components and certain non-living components. So, environment is the sum total of the interaction between the human beings and the nature surrounding it, like air, water, land, the plant world, the animal world, the microorganisms, everything taken together is a natural environment. Now, as you know, the environment is under stress now because of the increasing population of the world, and to accommodate the wants of the living population, there is gradually expansion of the industrial activities, there is urbanization, and several urban centers are developing fresh in different parts of the world, and the agriculture activity is shrinking, forest area is shrinking. Then all these things have a serious effect on the environment. So, a number of environmental issues have appeared in the last few years, which affects the human life as well as the plant life and animal life. The environmental issues that relate to a particular locality or area is known as the local environmental issue, and there are certain issues which affect the entire humanity of the entire world. So, those are the environmental issues relating to the international environmental issues. For example, pollution, air pollution or water pollution or land pollution. Pollution is a very localized subject. Supposing the air that we are present in a particular area, say the air quality of Bhubaneswar or air quality of Angul is either bad or good. The air quality of entire Odisha cannot be discussed in a particular context, but there are certain environmental problems. For example, global warming, for example, depletion of ozone layer, for example, greenhouse gas emission and global warming, for example, acid rain. These are all international environmental issues which have a very broader ramification and broader implication on the entire humanity. So, these are the environmental issues that affect us. There are many things: air pollution, water pollution, land pollution. Under air pollution you can have noise pollution, you can have thermal pollution, you can have radioactive pollution. Similarly, water pollution, land pollution, you can have problems of disposal of hazardous waste, disposal of chemical waste, disposal of biomedical waste. All these things can be discussed under the local environmental issues. To start with air pollution, now as you know, air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases, and normally the air that is present in the troposphere of the earth, the first 10 kilometers of air that is totally attached to the earth's surface, the first layer is the troposphere. It extends up to say 10 kilometers from the sea level. Then Next layer from 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers almost is known as stratosphere. All the activities of the atmosphere, like the climate, the monsoon, the weather, all these things happen in the troposphere. In the stratosphere is important because there is a ozone layer at the uppermost part of the stratosphere, which protects the life from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. So, ultraviolet ray of the sun is very harmful. If it if the living objects like human beings, animals, plants, if they are exposed to a certain quantum of ultraviolet light, then the life of that particular organism is affected. Therefore, ozone layer in the stratosphere is very important. It protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays. Similarly, above the stratosphere from 50 kilometers up to 90 kilometers is known as the mesosphere. Then from mesosphere 90 to 300 there is thermosphere, and the last one is the exosphere. So, we are only concerned about the troposphere and stratosphere. So, on the troposphere, all the activities relating to the movement of air, the cyclone, the weather, the climate, everything is confined to the troposphere. Now, air is a mixture of gases. Air is a mixture of gases. It contains almost 79% of nitrogen, 21% of oxygen, then the remaining 1% contains carbon dioxide, roughly 0.04%, and several other gases. Now, when the balance of these gases in the air is disturbed by emission of harmful substances, then the air is said to be polluted. For example, the carbon dioxide content, which is roughly 0.04% or 0.03%, when it is slightly increased in the atmosphere, then the air is said to be polluted. Then there are several pollutants which are present in the atmosphere, but they are under a particular threshold limit value, so that they do not have any harmful impact on the life of any organism or human beings. But once that threshold limit is crossed and there is emission of large amount of that harmful substance, then it will have a deleterious effect and the air will be called, this is polluted air. So, what are the sources of this pollution? The source of the pollution can be natural, it can be anthropogenic. Natural means the pollutants arise through natural activities. Natural activities कौन ना volcanic eruptions, उड़ा हमारा आग्नेयगिरी volcanic activity, then forest fire, जंगल ले निया लगिबा forest fire, then if there is decay of organic materials, for vegetables or other organic matter, if they are just sodi pochi jauchi, that also emits certain amount of bad pollutant. Then storm, tornado, which almost is episodal in nature, it actually happens in a particular locality. So, all these natural activities, they actually are source of generation of pollutants. Similarly, under anthropogenic activity, anthropogenic means because of human activity. Anthropogenic activities includes burning of fossil fuels. Burning of fossil fuel means we mostly use fossil fuel or the petroleum products like diesel, kerosene, petrol and other things for our source of energy in industrial activities, in motor cars, in railway engines, in aeroplane, everywhere as a source of energy we use fossil fuel. So, fossil fuel, burning of fossil fuel is a major source of this pollution. Then the degree of urbanization. As I have already told you, there is a pressure on the earth's surface due to increased population. Every day, thousands of human beings are being added to the earth's atmosphere, and this increasing population leads to development of new urban centers in different parts of the world. So, increased urbanization means the natural environment is completely damaged. There is increased activity of construction of roads, construction of houses, then use of motor cars, and there is a urban sprawl. So, it has a different setup altogether. The nature of environment of in that urban sprawl is totally different from the natural environment. So, increased urbanization also causes pressure on the environment. Similarly, as the human population grows, there is requirement of different substances for activities of human beings. Industrial activity also increases. So, increased industrial activity causes some pressure, because the industrial activity uses this fossil fuel and lot of these primary raw materials like iron ore, this coal and other things. Therefore, there is emission of lot of pollutants through the industries, and as a byproduct there are also discharges from the industries as effluents, which is discharged to the water bodies in the surrounding area. So, by the activity of this industrial activity, there is lot of emission of pollutants to the atmosphere and discharge of contaminated water into the nearby water bodies. So, all these things come under the anthropogenic activity, or the human activity leads to formation of different pollutants. Now, let us concentrate on the type of pollutants. So, till now we have discussed what is environment, what are the environmental issues, what is the nature of atmosphere, the composition of atmosphere, then composition of air, and different sources of pollution like natural source and anthropogenic source. Now, when you come to the pollutants, the pollutants based on their source or origin can be divided into two types: the primary pollutants and the secondary pollutants. Primary pollutant हमें क्या कहवा? Those pollutants which are generated from a particular source and is directly emitted to the atmosphere. Those substances which are emitted from a particular source and are directly emitted to the atmosphere, those are known as primary pollutants. Secondary pollutants are those which are formed in the atmosphere because of several natural activities, because of the presence of water vapor, because of the presence of high temperature, because of the presence of wind and excessive presence of solar radiation. There is interaction of different substances that are present in the air, in the atmosphere, and certain additional things are formed in the atmosphere. Those additional things which are formed from out of the primary pollutants are known as secondary pollutants. Now, what are the primary pollutants? To start with, first is particulate matter. First is particulate matter. under the primary pollutants, which constitute almost 90% of the global air pollution, the primary pollutants, they account for 90% of the global air pollution, and the rest are the secondary pollutants. Now, first one is particulate matter. Particulate matter, or it is also called SPM, suspended particulate matter. And particulate matter means mostly it is generated out of the these suspended matters, suspended solids, which are generated from the road dust, from the construction work, from the exhaust of cars and locomotives on the road, from the exhaust of the train, from the exhaust of aeroplane. So, all these things, from the emission of industries, then all these things are known as particulate matter. The particulate matter can be primary pollutant, the particulate matter can also be secondary pollutant. Now, particulate matter, primary pollutant, in those cases where the supposing road dust, you put some dust on the road and it goes on grinding through the movement of large number of cars and other automobiles, and that dust gets finer and finer and it is emitted and goes to the atmosphere. So, that is a primary pollutant. But secondary pollutant of particulate matter can be those where the exhaust of automobiles remain suspended in the atmosphere, come in contact with other pollutants, they form aerosols. So, those aerosols, that can be secondary pollutant, because that is a formation of a new substance in the atmosphere from out of the primary pollutants. So, primary pollutants we can discuss under particulate matter, we can discuss under primary pollutants, particulate matter we can discuss under secondary pollutants. So, the suspended particulate matter SPM, suspended particulate matter, the size of the dust particle varies from 0.5 to 500 microns, 0.5 to 500 microns. Now, this is known as suspended particulate matter because it remains suspended in the air. So, under this particulate matter, you can have two types, PM10, PM 2.5. Now, PM10 means the particulate matters whose dimension is more than 10 microns. They are larger particles. Their resident time in the atmosphere is less, whereas this PM 2.5 relates to the particulate matter or suspended particulate matter whose size is less than 2.5 micron, extremely fine dust particles, and they are more dangerous than the PM10, because these bigger size particles, they are gradually obstructed by the nasal hairs and they are not able to go inside the lungs. But these finer particles, the finer dust particles coming under PM 2.5, if the concentration of these finer particles in the atmosphere is high, then these small finer particles, they get into the nasal path, they reach the lungs, and you have lot of problems, that is respiratory problems. So, that is very dangerous, this PM 2.5. So, each pollutant, whether it is PM10 or PM 2.5, it has a threshold limit value. For example, PM 2.5 is value 60. If the concentration is 60, then it is tolerable. If it is beyond 60, it is harmful to the human being. Similarly, it has also a value. So, every pollutant has a threshold limit value up to which the atmosphere has the capacity to absorb it and assimilate it. It is known as the carrying capacity of that particular atmospheric air. If the concentration of the pollutant is beyond that threshold limit, then it is a polluted air and it has a harmful effect on the human beings and the entire living world. Then this particulate matter pollution, we sometimes refer to this, as you know that during the last few years there is free distribution of this LPG gases in the country, and that has helped to reduce to a large extent the indoor pollution of the different rural household. In rural household ସେଠି କ'ଣ ହୁଏ ନା ସେମାନେ ସବୁ ଚୁଲି କାଠ ଚୁଲି ବ୍ୟବହାର କରନ୍ତି। ସେ କାଠ ଚୁଲିରେ ସେମାନେ ଗୋବର ଘଷି କାଠ କରତ ଗୁଣ୍ଡ, so they use different types of agricultural products. They also use firewood, and that comes out, the emission that comes out, it is confined to a particular room. ରୋଷେଇ ଘର ଭିତରେ ଏଟା confined ରହେ. So the mostly the ladies folk, they work under severe air pollution condition and they are affected, their health is affected, they suffer from respiratory illness, and this domestic air that comes out from the this chulas, this firewood, burning of firewood, burning of this cow dung, burning of this sawdust, it contains a substance known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Indoor pollution. So in indoor pollution, this is a very serious nature of pollution which was affecting a lot of households in the rural area. So to alleviate their condition, Government of India distributed large number of these LPG stoves and LPG gases. So to some extent this problem has been contained in our country. So this indoor pollution which happens due to the emission of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons is extremely bad for the health of these human beings, and therefore this indoor pollution was the most critical air pollution in the context of the Indian population, and that has been to some extent alleviated by the distribution of this LPG gas stoves. Then the other sources of the particulate matter are the stone quarries. आमर जोटी तैयारी हुए जो चिप्स तैयारी हुए आमर जो बड़ बड़ पत्थर को गुंड करी जो चिप्स तैयारी हुए, the stone crushers. Then in asbestos factories, जो asbestos तैयारी हुए, asbestos factories, coal mines, जो कोयला in the open cast mine, जो कोयला कढ़ा होची in the underground mining or the open cast mining, जो coal mining होची, a lot of dust also is liberated, and these are the major sources of air pollution. Then excluding these specific areas or specific industries, the main concern of this particulate matter pollution is from the urban areas. Urban area re kon hochi na road dust is a serious problem. Then the exhaust of automobiles, as you know, in the our national capital Delhi, the air pollution was a serious problem. जोटी की कौन होता ना because of the road dust, the burning of the agricultural residues, आमर जो धान बिले रे धान कटा हला परे कि गम रे कटा हला परे जो stubble रही जाए, the agricultural waste that is left in the agricultural fields, the farmers used to burn those agricultural wastes, and that releases lot of dust particles. So those dust particles plus the road dust and the exhaust of the automobiles. The automobile exhaust is also a major source of particulate matter, and taken together, Delhi has a major problem regarding this air pollution, and during winter this is totally aggravated because of the presence of moisture in the atmosphere that creates smog. So, particulate matter or suspended particulate matter, it is a primary pollutant or a secondary pollutant depending on the source of or origin of its formation. Then the particulate matter can be from 0.5 micron to 500 micron. It comes under two categories, PM10 and PM2.5. So, PM10 is less hazardous than PM2.5 because PM2.5 is extremely fine particles. They enter into the lungs through the nasal path and they cause lot of respiratory problems. Now, in the indoor pollution, in rural areas, these ladies folk, they used to cook in firewoods, in this cow dung cakes, in this sawdust, and by use of this firewood, sawdust and this cow dung cakes, there is lot of pollution confined to a particular room, that is known as indoor pollution. It contains this polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and that is extremely harmful. Therefore, indoor pollution is a major component of the air pollution. Then other sources are stone quarries, asbestos factories, coal mines, etc., where from these laborers, they are exposed to lot of this dust and they suffer from the lung diseases like silicosis, asbestosis and all these things. Then the next primary pollutant is carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas. It is formed because of incomplete combustion of these hydrocarbons. So, oxidation, the incomplete oxidation of coal, hydrocarbons and biomass releases lot of carbon dioxide, releases lot of carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is extremely harmful, and if taken for a long time, then there will be lot of health issues and it can be sometimes fatal. So, how carbon monoxide is formed? Carbon monoxide can be formed from the dissociation of carbon dioxide in high temperature in the atmosphere, or the emissions that are released from the aircrafts, rail engines and industrial processes. So, it interferes with the oxygen intake of hemoglobin. So, carbon monoxide is a extremely hazardous primary pollutant which is responsible for killing a particular person or an organism. So, the concentration of carbon monoxide, if it is increased, then it becomes fatal. It interferes with the oxygen intake of hemoglobins in the blood, and therefore, there is respiratory stress and the organism or human being dies. Then next we come to NOx. NOx means the oxides of nitrogen. We get three types of oxides: nitric oxide, nitrous oxide and nitrogen dioxide. Now, nitric oxide is colorless, but the residence time in the atmosphere is less than 3 to 4 hours. Therefore, it is converted to nitrogen dioxide. So, nitric oxide, the residence time is very less, it is converted to nitrogen dioxide, which is brownish color, and nitrogen dioxide and nitrous oxide, they combinedly is known as NOx, is mostly formed under natural phenomena like lightning, volcanic eruption and bacterial decay. But NOx can also be released through exhaust of automobiles, and these oxides of nitrogen, when they are released as automobile exhaust, they combine with hydrocarbons and the air to form what is known as photochemical smog. Photochemical smog कौन ना शीत दिन ड्यूरिंग विंटर टाइम यू हैव सीन दैट कुहुड़ी भाया हो जाए जदिव ये एक्चुअल कुहुड़ी नुहे कुहुड़ी भाया हो जाए कहीं बिकज ऑफ लॉट ऑफ पॉल्यूटेंट दे एक्युमुलेट इन द एटमॉस्फेयर बिकज ऑफ द ह्यूमिडिटी इज वेरी हाई इट कैनॉट बी डिस्पर्स्ड and is confined to a particular localized area, and this oxides of nitrogen combined with hydrocarbons and the air, they form a photochemical smog, and the visibility becomes very low. There are a lot of problems. These human beings, they suffer from so many respiratory illness. So it is extremely bad and mostly happens in large urban centers, and Delhi used to experience lot of photochemical smog during winter. Then we come to next one, that is known as SOx or oxides of sulfur. We get two types of oxides, the SO2 and SO3. Now SO2 is colorless, is pungent, it can be known very easily, and this combination of the oxides of sulfur mostly are released from the volcanic eruptions, and also they are released through this petrochemical refinery, where from the fossil fuels and the burning of coals, in mostly in the thermal power plants there is burning of coal, and there is release of lot of oxides of sulfur, because the coal contains some amount of sulfur, and in the coal that is available in Odisha, fortunately it has very less content of sulfur. So emission of sulfur dioxide in the thermal power plants of Odisha is not a serious problem, because the sulfur content of Odisha coals is very less, whereas the sulfur content, ordinarily the coal contains a lot of sulfur, and therefore when it is burnt there is formation of oxides of sulfur. So sulfur dioxide is converted to sulfur trioxide, and under humid conditions SO2 is converted to SO3 when it comes in contact with air. Under humid conditions, humid air, it is converted to sulfuric acid. So this sulfuric acid particles or sulfuric acid vapors, they remain intact in the atmosphere for a long time. They are carried to different places, and they again come down to the earth's surface through rain and other things, and that is known as acid rain. So we talk of acid rain. This acid rain is nothing but the sulfur dioxide, the sulfuric acid that is formed from sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide, and remained in the humid atmosphere, and is carried by air to different places, and again it comes back through precipitation or rain, and that affects lot of vegetation and other organisms. So acid rain is a serious environmental issue internationally. Then next is hydrocarbons. Now hydrocarbons means these compounds are only constituted of carbon and hydrogen, only carbon and hydrogen. So, methane is supposed to be the smallest hydrocarbon molecule, and they are mostly released from auto exhaust, from onboard this gasoline in different engines, then from decomposition of organic matters. So, methane is a greenhouse gas. Just like carbon dioxide, methane is a greenhouse gas. That means it has the potential to increase the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere when it is present in large concentration. So, methane is released by decomposition of organic matter, then rotting rice fields. धान कटाला परे जो stubble थाए सेठी because of the activity of microorganisms and presence of water, there is lot of emission of methane from the rice fields and other agricultural fields. Similarly, by belching this cattle folk, they are called ruminants. These ruminants, that is cattle, goat, sheep, etc., and zebra, all these, those are grazing animals. So, they have a peculiar habit of belching, and they release, there is a lot of microorganism in there, a pocket of the stomach, and they release lot of methane in course of belching, and that is also another major source of methane emission. Now, these hydrocarbons, as I have already told, these hydrocarbons, they combine with NOx and air, they to form photochemical smog. Then next we come to ammonia. Then is so ammonia is a primary pollutant. This is a gas with pungent odor and is mostly released from garbage, sewage, industrial processes, agricultural sector, then storage of manures and synthetic fertilizers, like so all these things are sources of ammonia formation. So, ammonia is a primary pollutant. Similarly, heavy metals. What are heavy metals? Mostly it is arsenic, cadmium, lead and mercury. So, these are heavy metals. These are mostly emitted from the combustion of fossil fuels in the industrial activities, and they are linked to lot of health issues like thyroid, hormonal disorder, lung cancer and cardiopulmonary diseases. Then one more I will finish. The other is volatile organic compounds. The volatile organic compounds are mostly released from the painting of houses. Painting, you use lot of chemical paints from paintings, then road transport, dry cleaning and mostly different types of solvents used in different chemical industries. These are methylene chloride, benzene, chlorofluorocarbon, etc. So, these VOC is also a primary pollutant. Then methylene chloride is mostly released from adhesive removers, aerosol spray, and the benzene is released from the tobacco smoke, car exhaust, and this volatile organic compounds they create lot of health issues. Now, CFC chlorofluorocarbons. This is a greenhouse gas mostly released from the refrigerants and also responsible for the depletion of ozone layer in the stratosphere. Then besides volatile organic compounds, you can have carbon dioxide as a pollutant, hydrogen sulfide as a pollutant, hydrogen fluoride and radioactive elements. So, all these primary pollutants, they are directly emitted to the atmosphere and they have a lot of health hazards on the human life. So, that is all about primary pollutants. In the next class, we will take secondary pollutants.